Question and answer session. Me and my lawyer, who became my friend, always answered questions after I told students my story. I'm sure anyone who watched my first video has questions. I'll try and answer the most common ones. No, I didn't serve any jail time. It was suggested to the court that I could speak in front of groups. On the stand, my lawyer surprised me by asking me what I'd say to people. I answered simply, "Look at me. Please don't drink and drive." There was something about cruel and unusual punishment sending someone in my condition to prison. The biggest reason I didn't spend any time behind bars, I still believe, was the letter to the sentencing judge from Jason's parents. It was about me and Jason, about growing up together, about friendship, and it was about forgiveness. When they first heard about the accident, they thought Jason was driving his car. I was sentenced to 2 years probation and 200 community hours. Nothing about talking to groups. I gave 200 speeches to complete that. I'm sure nobody out there thinks my speech took an hour. My lawyer gave my probation officer a record of the hours he thought we'd spent. It explained to me why lawyers make so much money. 6 hours for a trip to Collingwood. He included driving time and lunch. 24 hours for a trip to Sudbury. Again, driving time and this time sleeping time. We stayed overnight in a hotel. I submitted an hour for each speech. A description of the crash? Just what I've been told. We were in a compact car. For some reason, we were in a hurry. We were doing highway speed on city streets. And having just run a red light, we were being followed by a police car. Within 15 seconds, we entered a curve, drifted into the other lane, and hit an oncoming pickup truck. All this right in front of ECI, my high school. What happened to the occupants of the pickup? Just the driver, and he was in and out of the hospital that night with minor bruising to his chest. Even though he was in no way responsible, just to be involved in such a tragedy, it's got to weigh on you. Again, I'm sorry, just doesn't cut it. But I am. None of us were wearing seatbelts, and we were all tied up in a mess in the middle of a pile of scrap iron. It took an accident reconstruction engineer a couple of months to figure I was driving. Will you ever drive again? Was a frequent question. After 20 years with coaxing from my girlfriend, who is now my wife, I decided to get my license again. In fact, after getting my regular license, I decided to get my taxi driver's license. Working part time, weekend nights, my first Saturday night, I had a puker. And then my second Saturday night, another puker. But I kept at it for a little while. The question I remember most was from an attractive young lady. I was speaking to a classroom at my old school, Eastwood. She asked if I wanted kids, if I could have kids. To answer that, I now have 8 kids. 3 came with my wife. They're grown and moved out now. 3 from my wife's family member who's had some hard times, so we're fostering. And 2 more. 2 boys, which I fathered. So, yes, I do want kids, and yes, I can have kids. Or at least until I was fixed.